Hi, this is Steve.
This is Bob.
This is Jay.
And we all need haircuts apparently.
Yes!
We are Alpha Quadrant 6, a science fiction review show. We review Star Trek, but much more than that.
We do it all, baby.
We do it all.
Yeah, we love doing videos,
Uh-huh.
home videos. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
No, we like movies. Lots of science fiction, even superhero movies are in.
Sci-fi, fantasy.
Fantasy.
I'd say.
You know, anything
Mostly
that's
sci-fi.
like Star Trek and Star Wars, pretty much. That's the header, right? We
There you
like
go.
movies like Alien, even zombie movies. We would discuss
Sure,
on this show.
zombies.
We would discuss books. We would interview authors and
Artists.
artists. That's right. So this year we're really going to be upping the ante with this show. We want all of that on this show this year, and I'm going to make it happen.
But this
Send us your
episode-
ideas, right? Send us ideas.
Yes, absolutely. But this episode, we are reviewing Star Trek. We are reviewing the second two Star Trek shorts. In a previous episode, we reviewed the first two, and this episode, we are reviewing The Runaway
And Escape Artist.
and Escape Artist.
There will be spoilers.
As
'cause we're gonna-
always,
yeah.
we
Big time.
don't hold back. There's going to be spoilers. So the idea of the Star Trek shorts, they were sort of billed as, well, we're not starting season 2 of Star Trek Discovery until January, but we're going to give you these short episodes to hold you over. But I really love the whole show,
Yeah.
the genre. You get
Yeah,
these
it's a great idea. It's fantastic.
15-minute little nuggets. You don't have to carry the main plot line or anything. It's just, let's just take a look at this one character, flesh out their personality, their backstory a little bit. Really, really great idea.
Let's start with Runaway.
Sure.
About Tilly.
Yep.
What'd you guys think of that episode?
Well,
It was the
wasn't
weakest
crazy.
of the four.
It was definitely the weakest of the four. I mean, my overall feeling was I kind of was saying to myself, so what? You know, I didn't really learn that much. You know, Tilly, to me, a lot of people really love that character, and I kind of feel like she's fine for the background. You know, I'm not interested in her like I am a lot of the other characters. I mean, and I think part of it is we have these incredibly strong characters on the show. I mean, Michael is this over-the-top, powerful, huge presence type of character, and then when you click over to Tilly, I'm just a little bored. Like, she hasn't evolved that much at all, right? She's still kind of the same person she was at the beginning of season 1. You know, we had this 15-minute intimate episode with her, and it really, to me, was just more of the same, and it was a little mundane.
Well, I mean, it was about her growing into her command presence. We found out that in the mirror universe, she was like a cutthroat commander of a ship. And when we first realized that was actually in her DNA, it was kind of impressive, and she did a good job. I think she's funny and goofy. The question is it a little bit over the line goofy? But I think she's fun. Anything to lighten the mood a little bit, I think is fine. And the episode, I think the episode was the weakest of the four, but it was decent. I like the parallels of how, you know, she's trying to get out from under her mother's oppressive thumb, and she runs into this runaway with self-cloaking abilities, which was cool and odd. You know, to me, it's like, how could a biological being cloak like that? What do you got? Metamaterials for your outer layer of your skin? Whatever. I'm sure there's some way around it. But she kind of helped her accept her. She was queen of a planet that just discovered dilithium crystals and is now part of the Federation. So they became politically important. So she was running away from that. So Tilly helped her accept her mantle of responsibility, and in the same way, she was helping herself do the same thing for her. You know, the command programming she's going in. So that was kind of okay, but still nothing really necessarily grabbed me like some of the other episodes that we saw.
So Tilly is an interesting character. She definitely is comic relief, but at the same time, they're trying to show that she has hidden strength,
Talents,
hidden talents, and hidden
She's
depths.
smart.
She's just insecure,
Yeah.
but you know, given the right opportunity and the confidence, she could really grow into a commander. You know, even command a starship. But I do think they step over the line a little bit. So she may be insecure and be a little goofy, but she's still Starfleet. And there's still, I think, a minimum amount of professionalism that we come to expect from. Would a Starfleet officer really behave the way that she did in that scenario? To me, it took me out of it a little bit. It's like, come on.
Yeah, that's my number one takeaway is that, you know, there were a few things in the episode that I was a little like, really? You know, like it seems to me that the level that I've grown to appreciate the idea of Starfleet is at, right? These are these people that made it onto a starship. And let's you know, put everything aside. On that particular starship, the cream of the crop. And I don't get that sense with her. I get like she's the kind of person that drops the soap in the shower and slips on the soap and cracks her head. You know, like I don't get the sense like she's got this super strong underbelly, but she has an insecure exterior. I just think she's wholly insecure, which makes me. It undoes my feelings about what the way, like Steve was saying, like, you know, Starfleet officer needs to have at their core, they have to have something rock solid.
Yeah, so they're not in the sweet spot with her, but at least they left her room to grow, but we need to see that growth for that character to work. If
Right.
she stays this goofy, we're going to get tired of it, I think, pretty quick.
Yeah, it's kind of become her shtick now. You know, I don't know. I know they
Yeah.
could turn it around in one episode. They
You
could,
can, I
they
mean,
could
you
evolve
can,
it, but-
cause, so at least we know that there's the hidden depth is there. Now let's start to see it.
Right.
She's doing the command program. This is a character that is made to grow, to have an arc, and we need to see that.
Exactly.
And if we do, okay, then all is forgiven. Then it works.
But you
know?
can't put her in that much of the forefront at that particular level that she's at. Just keep her there for 3 or 4 seasons. That's the thing I would hate that they do. That they do an abrupt change instead of a subtle change that happens over 3, 4 seasons,
Yeah.
whatever it is. That would be fantastic. But they haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Now, there's another thing about the episode that kind of bothered me. It's usually the things that I noticed that bother me a lot about science fiction. It doesn't have to be hard science fiction. The world has to be honest to itself,
Yeah.
right? We say this all the
Always.
time.
Consistent.
So when that alien, I forgot her name, the princess,
Poe?
when she escapes from the secret place that she had on the ship, the first thing I thought of was, is that even possible? Can someone sneak onto that ship? Is their security that bad that all you got to do is go into a place that they're not normally expecting people to occupy on a ship, and you're snuck on the ship?
Yeah, you would think they would have bioscanners for anything that came aboard the starship.
Right.
Have we ever seen a self-cloaking alien, though? I mean, that's
No,
pretty
but Bob,
powerful.
even if she was
Maybe
self-cloaking-
too powerful.
Yeah, that's the thing. So in order, this is exactly what I thought. You hit the nail on the head. Okay, so she can cloak herself all the way, 100% cloaked. Well, there you go. You have the absolute best race of spies you ever found. Like it's one of those things. Like
Yeah.
don't transport someone onto a ship going light speed. Don't paint yourself
Yeah.
into that corner. Don't create an alien that's that powerful.
Right. And then the franchise has a problem with that, especially with recent
movies, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
parts of it where they do.
We could beam light years
Yeah,
away.
they don't consider
Okay.
the implications of the technology or whatever, the canon that they're introducing. It's like, yeah, but do you really think through what the implications of that
Yeah.
would be? Like, what would that
Absolutely.
really mean? Okay, let's talk about
Yes.
the escape
Escape
artist.
artist.
So this was, I think we agree,
My favorite.
the best
The
of the
best.
4, I think by far. And
Yep.
not just because it was with Harry Mudd, who's a great character, and
Rain Wilson.
Rainn Wilson's doing a fantastic job
Fantastic.
of reimagining what was already an iconic character from
Yeah.
the original series. I mean, so I think just probably the best reboot or whatever for Star Trek Discovery, and his short was fantastic.
So one comment I said to Bob, we were talking on the phone about
Yeah.
this, and I said, think about how good everything is. It all has to come together. But I was really talking about how good the actor is, right? This is a man that played Dwight Schrute for 9 years.
Yeah.
On an amazingly popular TV show.
he was great. Who
I
didn't
have him
love him?
memorized, and I don't see the character. He is such a good actor that he
Yeah.
can shirk that.
Yeah, he's not just playing himself.
He
he's
could
playing
shirk
a
the
character.
shrew. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yes.
So and the beard and mustache definitely help a bit. But yeah, he's fantastic. And this is his 3rd outing for Trek.
All have been good.
The first episode was a good introduction to him, I think, and we were like very surprised and happy at how well he did. The second one, where he was time looping
Yeah.
and killing
Oh, that was
Lorca,
amazing.
that was one of my favorite episodes of all of last season. It's just pure
Yeah.
enjoyment.
He was deviant. He is like a genius, devious villain.
Yes.
Right.
But the great thing about this character that goes all the way back to the original series is there's something adorably funny about him too. Like he's charming
Yes.
in an evil way, kind of like Dr. Evil in a sense. You know, he's got that evil guy charm.
Yeah, I mean, he could turn into kind of a cute character for this entire series because he pops in a couple of times a season and shakes things up and does crazy
He's
things.
perfectly
But
poised to do that.
I love him. So in this episode, he's caught. He's captured like we've never seen Mudd captured. A bounty hunter sells him to another bounty hunter, a Tellarite, which we kind of saw last season. But this is a real good close-up of the Tellarite, which is a good reimagining of the Tellarite. Definitely better than the classic Trek makeup. Oh
So
boy.
in case you don't know what a Tellarite is, they're the people that are pig-faced.
Pig-like, yeah.
Yeah, or boar-like.
Boar-like, yeah.
So now when that happened, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but when one bounty hunter sold Mudd to another bounty hunter to collect 160,000 credits, whatever. I briefly thought, well, why did the first bounty hunter sell it?
Well, it makes sense. It's just convenient.
Well,
you
okay.
know?
So, all right. So then he gets captured by the Tellarite, and what's really funny about that entire scene is that you see Mudd go through a series of attempts to extricate himself from being caught, and
From different instances of being caught.
well, not
with
only that,
different
but
people.
he's like just like, how dare you do this to me? Do you know who I am? And then the guy knew exactly who he was, and he pulls up his arrest record
Yeah.
and stuff. Then he tries to schmooze him and stuff. He tries all these different things, and all along the way, he's thinking back in his mind to previous times when he was captured and
did the same
and did the same thing. And he went back in his mind, what, 6 times?
Yeah,
About
at
6
least.
times.
But the good thing about this is a extremely well written episode because first of all, it's fairly uncommon at this point in my life for a show to completely surprise me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? It's getting fewer and fewer,
Sure.
farther
Right,
and farther
yeah.
between because we've seen it all.
Yeah, the more plot, all
Yeah.
the movies and books we've read.
You just
we-
sort of see the telegraphing coming sometimes a mile away.
Right.
But this is one of the rare times where it totally got me.
Yeah.
It completely
Yes.
got me. Because you're thinking the whole episode, how's he getting out of this? And we know it's kind of his shtick that he schmoozes his way out of impossible situations. That's his thing.
even the
but
old
even
Harry.
then, even knowing that's his superpower, you're thinking, how is he going to?
Right.
I'm just dying to see how he's going to get out of
I
this.
had a thought though. All right, so again, spoilers. So it turns out that he was selling Android copies of himself, which is so much fun. But wait, Bob,
That's inspired genius.
It is
right there.
inspired genius. It totally is. But I don't think we've thought of this, and it kind of occurred to me when you were retelling his story here. I think that what they were showing were what the other androids were going through.
Yeah.
Not what Harry Mudd actually lived through, but maybe the other scenarios of all the other androids,
Oh, I
right?
hadn't thought
Isn't
of
that
that.
amazing?
Wasn't that obvious?
No, Bob
Really?
and I.
That was
wait a second,
totally obvious.
to you, but Bob and I thought it was Harry Mudd's implanted memories into the
Yes.
No,
android.
you're losers. That was all the other
Give me a break.
androids.
It could have easily, yeah.
Yeah, but how would
That's
you
the
have
whole point.
It absolutely could have been the other androids, but I mean, this is also
It
what Harry
100%
does.
was.
Yeah,
That's
but
why
see,
they were giving the same answers because they were all
Yeah.
following the same program.
Okay, but you got to please. We were
Help me out, guys. Right?
Yeah.
all right. Wow, you guys are all right. No, the point I'm getting at is I got to now pivot to something else, so Steve doesn't
Yes.
keep making
Yeah,
fun of
hurry
us.
up.
Is that Harry Mudd still had to program those androids to be smart enough to do that because
Yeah.
he knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
He was sitting there, think about it. He's sitting there, and this is the other thing. They needed to quickly show that Harry Mudd stole the android technology. There's no way that this guy is a genius engineer that can make androids that can pass for humans. It would have been really great, a good writing, and this is what they miss a lot in Star Trek. They just needed one thing where they show a quick scene of him buying the android or ripping off the technology, or a throwaway line where he says, he ripped off this android technology, because he can't do that. This guy.
Yeah, but Jay, my theory and a lot of other people's theory is that the actual time period that we were in right then and there wasn't really certain. There's no real star date readout. This could have happened after the Mudd episode
Sure.
from Classic Trek.
Yeah.
Remember when he was stranded on that planet?
Yep.
He could have just taken some of the technology with him. So that to me, it's kind of like what they were kind of.
I know, but
Yeah.
it doesn't tell
for.
the story though. That's the problem. Is we're sitting
Right.
there with a lot of questions because how does Harry Mudd end up with the
But
ability?
it's Harry Mudd. That's what he does. We don't really need to see him stealing the alien technology or be told to
Yeah,
know
it's
that
not-
that's probably what happened.
It's not critical.
I don't like that.
Remember, Dave, during that reveal, the door opens and you see all these other Harrys on there. We were all like, holy crap, that is awesome. I did
Right.
not see that coming. And did you notice that there was a Harry Mudd and they were dressed like Mudd from Mudd?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We'll
Yeah.
watch it
Oh,
again.
I missed it.
So it's so wonderful. And you know why this episode is so awesome?
Why? Why?
The debut writing of Mike McMahon, one of the writers of Rick and Morty.
Oh,
Yes. That's why this was so awesome, because of Mike
Oh, that is
McMahon.
so.
Hello.
What a sign for the future, man! If he wrote the best
Yes.
short so far, and it was really provocative. It was
and
a really
this is the
entertaining.
guy who's going to write the
Lower Decks, the animated
Lower Decks, an animated
comedy track.
comedy.
He's going to
track.
write that. This is going to be a gem.
That's
It's going
a
to be
good
gem.
sign.
And I didn't know this. Mike McMahon is a Star Trek fanatic.
Well, yeah.
He even the showrunner Kurtzman says that Mike is a genius, and he knows every inch of every Star Trek episode ever. This
Oh,
guy,
my God. This is gonna be great.
He's a deep fan like we are, but probably more than we are.
Your job is to get him
Oh
on
God,
the
I would
show.
love
Oh,
to.
my
Yeah.
God.
All right, I'll do my best.
We're
I'm
not
sure the
worthy.
guy's very busy, but let me see what I can do.
So
You
that's
get through his dozen layers
Yeah.
of agents and cover. Yeah, right.
yeah. This one was so much fun, and
Yeah.
I loved all the nods to the classic Harry Mudd back in Trek. I just wanted that to be longer and see more of that, what was going on. But wonderful episode. So yeah, definitely recommend that
And
one.
there you go.
Don't
Like,
watch that one first because it'll make the other three seem
Watch
like
it last.
part of me,
Watch it last.
part of me wants Harry Mudd to be the grittier side, right?
Yeah.
Now, the comic relief to me in Star Trek should be brief. It shouldn't be this persistent thread. It can't be that there's a character that's just always funny. You know what I mean? It has to touch down here and there
Yeah.
to change the mood and give us an insight into the character's other sides. Because they can't, no human being or even alien in Star Trek, even Spock can't be dead serious all the time. There has to be moments of levity, right? I get that, but I think they're kind of going like this, which I don't like. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, this is funny. That person, like Tilly is this type of character, and pretty much every time she's on, we got to take it tongue-in-cheek type of thing. I don't like that. Like she needs to be dynamic. Everybody needs to be dynamic.
But these two episodes both featured characters that are comic relief to some extent, and I think it shows the different balance. Whereas Mudd and Tilly have a different balance of comedy versus gravitas, and seriousness. I think Harry Mudd gets it right. Tilly's not quite
That's
there.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, and we could see how being off a little bit, has an effect by comparing these two characters.
The Harry Mudd character is almost the type of humor that character generates is he's funny while he's being deadly serious.
Partly because his humor and his sort of comic buffoonish bravado is his cover.
Yeah.
That's how he puts people
He's-
off.
right.
He looks
He's
like
not
he's incompetent,
buffoonish, yes.
but
That's a
he's
shtick.
really it's a shtick.
It's an affectation
Yeah.
for sure,
Yeah.
and it's a good move. It's
It's
actually
really
a smart
good move. Very good move.
Now I have one last question. Will this new version of Harry Mudd ever say, of course, what did he say?
That wasn't him. That wasn't him.
Who was that?
That was the guy from Trouble with Tribbles. That was not Harry Mudd.
He is Mudd-like. You're right.
He's very
He-
Mudd-like,
he
but
is
it's a
Mudd-like.
different character.
Oh my God, that's not
the
the
guy.
Oh, you're right.
It's a different
My brain
character.
completely rewrote that as Harry Mudd.
No, that was not Harry Mudd.
I have to rewatch
Mudd's
that
women
now.
and I Mudd.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Trouble with Tribbles. What was that character's
I don't
name?
remember. It's
forget.
all
It was-
screwed up in my head now.
Wait, my
But,
brain is searching.
Yeah, I know. It'll
Failure.
hit us after the show's over. But yeah, that was a different character. He was just a trader who was he's the one who sold the Tribbles, but it wasn't Harry Mudd.
Okay.
That could have been Mudd if that character, if they wanted to use that character for that role.
He would have been great for
It
that.
would have been perfect
Yeah.
for it,
Okay. All right. Wow. See how your memory works?
You fused those two similar characters.
That's right.
So yeah, more Mudd. Let's get more Mudd. And hopefully we'll have one or two good
I
episodes
think
this season.
we'll see him once or twice this season.
Yeah. Some people are thinking that this Harry Mudd short was kind of like a test balloon to see if they want to do a
Spin-off?
a spin-off with Mudd.
Oh man, that would
which
be
okay,
that
now
would be great.
that would be great. I like the idea because they're doing so much with Trek now. The animated show, the Picard show, the Georgiou show. They're doing so much. So that doesn't surprise me. But that's a little tricky because a little Mudd goes a long way.
I agree. I think I wouldn't like it.
He would need a good ensemble around him, really good ensemble.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be all Mudd all the time.
I'm very concerned about that. I would be very concerned because Mudd is such an intense character that he's great in short, small doses.
Exactly.
But like him all the time, like a whole series of Mudd would be exhausting.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
the
why
thing
the
is,
ensemble would help.
what
Yeah.
would end up happening is they'd have to really well round that character. He
Yeah.
would have to be. We'd have to see the other sides of him, of
Talk
course,
about- yeah,
right?
talk
Because he
about
can't
it.
be that guy all the
But
time.
he works really well as a cameo
Yeah.
character.
He's a great foil
Yes.
to outwit and test the limits of the crew, whoever's interacting with him. So, guys, we are going to be streaming Star Trek Discovery Season 2 every Thursday night. The show starts at 8:30. We go on around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm sorry, I can't do the UTC calculation in my head.
Or Eastern Daylight Time.
That's
now,
right.
EDT.
That's right. And did you hear they might get rid of daylight savings
They
time?
should. I mean, why not?
It's actually
Believe
like
it when I
being
see
discussed.
it. Believe
All
it
right,
when
so
I see
you could go to our Patreon page if you like this show. You can go to patreon.com/Alpha Quadrant and the number 6. You can go to Alpha Quadrant and the number 6.com, and you can go to Alpha Quadrant. You can go to facebook.com/Alpha Quadrant and the number 6 to interact with us, give us suggestions, watch all of our videos. Anything else, guys?
We'll see you next time.
More shorts.